last month. Okay, so these are the individuals that performed the best in the month of March. And Jonathan, your name has already been unmarked apparently. So in the top personal producer category, so these are the individuals they helped personally with their personal pen. Jonathan Belletta, 34,000 points. Good job, Jonathan. Number 4, we have Store Factory, 39,339. Number 3, we have Azza with 40,000 points. Good job, Azza. That's a whole MD promotion in 1 month. Well done. Number 2, we have Roman Kinzerski, 70,000 points. Good job. Nice. That was a little small. I'll let it pass. That's okay. Number 1, Moji, 94,795. Awesome. Top 4 personal recruits. So this is the personal expansion that these individuals conducted in their own business. Tied for number 4, Azza, Behrang, Ali, Bassan, Connor. Give them a round for applause. That's 4. Stand up, guys. Stand up and smile. Azza, you're not standing up. Good job. I've never seen people be so disappointed for recognition. We can stop this. Number 3, we have Raymond Ho at the 5. Good job, Raymond. Where's Raymond? Number 2, we have Jonathan and Vickis at 6. Well done. And at number 1, Allison Lau with 8. Good job, Allison. That's wonderful. Now, top 5 total MD base net points. So these are MDs and the total production their non-MD team did with them. At number 5, Marcel with 50,842. Number 4, Allison Lau with 16,543. Number 3, Connor McWilliams, 25,291. Good job. Number 2, Jonathan Valletta, 34,997. Number 1, Sina, 45,806. Good job. Top 5 total MD base recruits. Tied for 5. Khaled, Sina, Basson, Connor with 5 each. Good job. At number 4, Behrang Montazeh with 6. Behrang, good job. Number 3, Allison with 8. Number 2, Raymond Ho. And number 1, Jonathan Valletta. Good job with 10. Top 5 total SMD base net points. So these are the SMDs and their production within their non-SMD team. At number 5, Elham with 48,645. Good job. Number 4, Story Factory, 58,273. Good job. Stand up all the way. I saw your knees are bending. Good job. That's awesome. Number 3, Moji, 110,000. Good job. This is the beginning of your million-point base shop, my friend. Number 2, Roman Kinzerski, 127,000. And number 1, my base shop, 138,000. Good job, everyone. Now, top 5 total SMD base recruits. At number 5, Lexi with 11. Good job, Lexi. Number 4, Vekas with 12. Good job, Vekas. You guys doing this together? Number 3, Moji with 14. Good job, Moji. Number 2, Roman with 24. Good job, Roman. And number 1, 49 for our team. Good job in the base shop. Nicely done. Now, my favorite category, the top 10 total cash flow, okay? And I got to explain to you why this is my favorite category. Look, in corporate, traditional business, corporate America, they don't show incomes. You know why? Because you can't make more money than your boss. Does that make sense? So they don't talk about their incomes. Even in your contract, they say don't talk about your incomes. Because if you go tell your coworker how much you make and you make more than them, they're going to get pissed off because there's no way they can make more than you. Yes or no? Here's why we show incomes, because every single one of you can earn exactly these amounts or more with no problem. So the reason we have no problem sharing our incomes with you, our monthly income, is because we know you can achieve this or even better. So we want to inspire you with it. Does that make sense? Because some people who are new to our business, like, why do you guys show your income? Because that's how the inspiration happens, where people go, you know what? Maybe this is the thing that I'm really going to focus on and put my attention towards. Half of Vancouver are realtors because somebody said they made some commission, right? So the reality is, we're showing these incomes to show you what's possible for you. And we're here to help you do this and more. Is that okay? Yeah. Now, this is the top 10 income earners of our team for last month. This is just 1 month of income. I know some of these numbers look like annual incomes, but they're actually monthly. Okay, so I hope this inspires you. And I remember, I think 3-4 years ago, we would start our top 10 with 3,000 cash flow. Now our top 10 starts at 12,914 for Connor McWilliams. Good job, Connor. At number 9, we have Azza. As an associate, she made 15,000. That's next. Stand up. Stand up. Number 8, Elham with 14,828. Good job, Elham. That's awesome. By the way, this is the only business where people make 20,000 and they're upset. I only made 20,000 last month. But that shows the standards of our team, yes or no, and the standards of our business. So I'm happy about that. Number 7, Sina, 15,184. Where is Sina? Good job. That's awesome. Number 6, Jonathan Valletta, 17,730. Number 5, Alexis Kiab, 19,638. Number 4, Story Factory, 31,994. Good job. Number 3, now we're going to go in the top 3. So at number 3, Moji with 58,720. Moji was an admin employee. Did they even pay you this in a year? You didn't even make the. I think you made like 42,000 or something in a year. He just made 58,000 the last month. Give him another round of applause. Good job. If your birthday is coming up, these are the people you want to go and say hi to after and see if you can get some presents from. At number 2, Roman Kenzerski with 63,534. That's awesome. That's awesome. And at number 1, I myself, 108,341. Good job, team. That's awesome. All right. So congratulations to all the individuals that got recognized. So proud of you for having a great month. Last month was one of our record-breaking months. So good job to all of you. And this month, we're going to do even better with 1,000,000 points at 300 AMA. Yes or no? Awesome. Now, in today's session, I'm really excited about this topic. This actually is probably my favorite topic, okay, that I like to train on. And the topic is how to not quit. That's some of you are like, what the hell does this guy mean? Let me explain to you. A lot of people come into meetings or trainings and they go, teach me how to do things, right? Teach me how to sell, teach me how to recruit, teach me how to lead. Yes or no? Okay. Let me give you an example. If I teach you how to shoot a basketball, but you only shoot it one time and then quit, will you ever become a great basketball player? No. If I teach you how to play guitar, but you only play guitar for 2 weeks and then never pick up a guitar again, are you going to become a great guitar player? No. So what is the most important factor in success? Not quitting. Have you ever met anyone who became successful that quit? Okay, so what is the number 1 factor to success? Not quitting. Whoever teaches us how to not quit, though. Thank you. Somebody said, that's right, I do. But that's why this is my favorite topic. Because here's the thing, I can teach you all the skill set. I can teach you all the leadership skills. I can teach you everything you need to know about this business. We already do teach you that. But if you don't stay here long enough and practice it long enough, why does it matter? So you need to know how to stay in the game. You know, Patrick Bet-David always says this. He says, out-improve, out-strategize, outwork, and what is the last one? Outlast. Does that make sense? Because you can out-improve for a while. You can out-strategize for a while. You can even outwork for a while. But if you don't outlast, you'll still get beat by your competition. Does that make sense? When you guys look at the Dominican Republic contest, I promise you, some people competed for 3 months, but not 6 months. Some people competed for 4 months, but not 6 months. It's the ones that competed for 6 months that ended up qualifying. Yes or no? Okay. So this is why this topic is so important. And by the way, this is not going to be just like, oh, some motivation and inspiration for you. I'm going to give you literally tangible things you can do to stay in the game. And you know why I'm such a good person to teach you this? Because I quit before. That's why. I'm known as a very persistent person. If you know me, you know I'm a very crazy persistent person, right? To the point that it annoys a lot of people. But guess what? My first time in WFG, in that other office, in that other system and organization, I quit after 2 years. So I know exactly how to quit, and that's why I know exactly how not to quit. Does that make sense to you? Let me share one thing, and then I'll go into the training. And this is going to relate to what I'm going to talk about. I would much rather not be good at something and then become good at it than be born great at it. Do you know why? If you ask most people if they would rather be born great or become great, most people will say, I want to be born great. You know why? Because it's least effort, it's the least energy, and it's the easiest road to success. Yes or no? Yes. But here's the problem with being great and not developing greatness. You can never teach anyone else to do it. Lionel Messi is a gifted soccer player. Yes, he worked very hard to get to where he is, but he's also very gifted. Lionel Messi can never become a great soccer manager. You know why? Because he's going to be coaching a team and be like, hey, guys, just get the ball, just dribble through everyone and score. That's it. We win the game. And his president will be like, what is that even? What do you mean? But to him, it came so easy. If you guys watch Messi play at 5 years old, he plays basically the way he plays now. So he's God gifted. But when you're God gifted, you can't teach someone else how to do it. One of the reasons I'm great at teaching is because I sucked at everything that I'm teaching. Does that make sense? I think some of you missed it. One of the reasons that I'm great at teaching is because I used to suck at all the stuff that I'm teaching you. So you know what that means? I had to learn from zero how to be good at it. And because I had to learn from zero, I can teach you the step-by-step process on how to do it. Is that fair? Yeah. So next time you're like, I wish I was just good at this. If you are, you'll always be self-employed. Because self-employed people are talented. Entrepreneurs who develop a business, who develop a system, who develop passive income, they're the ones that can teach other people how to do what they did. Yes or no? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so let's go right into it. How to not quit. Here's the first thing that we need to talk about when it comes to how to not quit. You need to actually understand what it takes to be successful. Let me ask you a question. If you know the process of baking something, you know what it's going to look like in the middle, you know what it's going to look like near the end, how much are you going to panic if it looks like it's going wrong? By the way, this is not a podcast. It's a live stream for people on YouTube. It's for people on Zoom, I understand that. For you guys that are here, you're staring at me and you're not seeing anything back. It makes no sense. It's very awkward interaction for me. So I'm going to ask the question one more time. If you're baking something and you know exactly what the process of baking that thing looks like, how much are you going to be shocked along the way? Like if you're going to make cake, I've never made cake. I've ate a lot of them, okay? But I assume at some point the cake does not look like a cake, right? At some point it looks like a chocolate soup, right? Before you put it into the oven or whatever. Okay. If you know that that's what it's supposed to look like, then once you get to that stage, you're not going to panic. But if you think the cake is always supposed to look like a cake, you'll panic every step of the way. Yes or no? Yes. If you don't know what success looks like, you will never achieve it because you'll panic every step of the way. One of the biggest reasons why people can't achieve success is because they don't know what it looks like. So they panic every step of the way. And sometimes they panic to the point where they quit. So let's talk about what success actually looks like. This is going to be bad news for some of you. It's going to be really good news for some of you as well. Nima, why is it bad news for some of us? Because some of you have come into this thinking this is going to be easy as cake. Okay, and cake is not even easy. I've tried baking it. It's pretty hard. But it's going to, because I'm going to tell you guys the truth of what it actually looks like. So for some of you that are like, oh my God, it's just going to be, kumbaya, Disney World. I just kind of like make it happen and I'm rich. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen here. And I'm going to tell you why that is. For some of you who are struggling, who are having a hard time, who are on the verge of giving up, this is going to be great news because you're like, oh, shoot, I'm going the right direction. Is that okay? Yeah. So here's the first thing you need to know. You will feel like quitting often. Part of the process to success is you're going to feel like quitting along the way many times. Anyone here felt like quitting at some point so far? Oh, yeah. If you're not raising your hand, you probably don't have a hand or you're too shy. That's okay. But every single one of us have gone to that point where we felt like quitting at some point. Maybe you felt like quitting for a day. Maybe you felt like quitting for a week, but you felt it before. That's part of the process to success. Even my content creation, YouTube, and the things that I'm doing, I sometimes feel like quitting. Even though I know the process, I go, dude, I don't know if it's worth. But then I'm like, it takes time. Don't be a baby. And then I just keep going. Okay? But you're supposed to feel like quitting. That means you're going in the right direction. Here's the next thing. It's going to take longer than you think. However long you think it's going to take, it'll take longer than that. Make sense? Here's the reality of it. From my observation, most people take 5 to 10 years to hit peak performance. Some of you, after 3 months, make really good money with us. Some of you, within your first year, you make 6 figures with us. Some of you kill it within the first 2-3 years, make 500,000 with us. Yes or no? That's not close to anywhere to what you're going to make 5 to 10 years from now, though. Make sense? So if you're starting slow, you can speed up very quickly as time goes on. And if you're starting fast, you'll go even faster if you don't get complacent and distracted. Make sense? So it's going to take 5 to 10 years, even if you're having a great start or a bad start. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is no different than the bamboo tree story. Who here remembers the bamboo tree story? Okay, here's the story with the bamboo tree. I'll break it down very quickly for you. First year that the bamboo tree wants to grow, there is no visibility of growth. Make sense? So the farm, I don't know who grows bamboo trees. Is it farmers? I don't know. It's just some people that plant stuff. Good for them. Okay? They water it. The sun hits it. However the bamboo tree process says, the first year, there's no sign of success. Yes? Second year, there's still no sign of growth. Now, some of you are like, okay, 2 years then makes sense. But third year, we must see something. Third year, still no sign. You know what that means? That means that after 3 years of water, do you water bamboo trees? Who knows? After 3 years of watering bamboo trees, I should have probably studied how bamboo trees work before this. But after 3 years of watering the bamboo tree, of looking over it, guess what you're looking at? Dirt. You don't even see like a speck of green. It's just dirt. How many of you feel that way with your business sometimes? You're working your butt off 3 months, 6 months, a year, and you're like, dude, I don't even see any green part. Connor, don't raise your hand. You made $20,000 last month. If you raise your hand, we're going to kick you out. Does that make sense though? Okay, that's part of the process. Guess what happens the 4th year? Nothing. Nothing happens 4th year. By the way, you guys remember the Mr. Beast example I gave you? First year, how many subscribers he had? 5. After a year, 5. Then he went to like 300. Then he went to 700. And after 5 years, he had 20,000. The year after went to 400,000. The year after went to 1 million. So guess what happens in the 5th year of the bamboo tree? It usually grows up to 80 feet. I don't know what that sound is, but I like the feedback. There's some sound. It's a storm. I don't know. But after the 5th year, it grows 80 feet. Do you understand what I'm saying? 80 feet. That means you were looking at dirt 3 days ago, then you come and it's 80 feet up. Some of you, if you don't know how this thing works, might look for your bamboo tree. Where's mine? This thing that just got in the way. That's your bamboo tree. But 5 years, and the first 4 years, there is no sign. And for many of us in our business, it's the same way. You guys have seen my story, even my numbers, right? After 2 years, how many people did I have at the sessions? 8. After 3 years, I had 14. Then all of a sudden, within 3 months, we go to like 100. Then now we have 500 people in our sessions every week. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. The bamboo tree is an exact story of what success will look like. Now, again, some of you are going to have fast growth in the beginning. It'll be even faster if you keep going. Some of you have slower growth. You might beat the people that were fast in the beginning. There was many people that beat me to 100K. I killed them to 250, 500, a million, and everything else. So it doesn't matter how you start. What matters is how you finish. Does that make sense? And guess what? When the bamboo tree is 80 feet tall, no one's going to come and go, but remember the first 4 years? No one cares. It's 80 feet tall now. Do you think any of my friends come and go, yeah, you make $1 million a year, but remember the first 2, 3 years? I've never had that conversation with anyone. Does that make sense? So you'll forget it when you get there, but you got to get there. So it's going to take time. So if you're here, like it feels like it's taking a while, welcome to success. Welcome to business. Good to have you. Give yourself a round of applause. Good job. Now, this is my favorite part. This is what some people say that gets me very excited. They go, Nima, 5 years? This is exactly how they apply. 5 years? And this is like a 30-year-old, right? Or a 25-year-old or 40-year-old, whatever age it is. I'm like, yeah, where else do you plan on going? Like I have people that literally work at like a minimum wage job. Respect to everyone that does that. No, I'm not putting you down, but I'm just telling you, they're working at like Walmart or something or Starbucks. Great places to work. I'm not downing it, but I'm just giving you the story here. And they're like, you're telling me it's going to take me 5 years to make $1 million a year? I'm like, can you show me the game plan that Walmart gave you that's going to make you $1 million a year in 2 years? Because some people say 5 years as if you're going somewhere else. Does that make sense? So when you compare our business, within 4 years, guys, I was making $1 million a year. Where else was I going to go where within 4 years they were going to pay me $1 million? You got a better game plan? Come and share with me, please. I'll go. But I don't know anywhere else where I could have had this kind of opportunity. And by the way, how many of you 5 years ago started something and then quit? Maybe it was an instrument, maybe it was a sport. If you had stuck to it for that 5 years and you were good at it now, would you be happy? If that piano class that you took 5 years ago, that guitar class, that whatever yoga class that you took 5 years ago, if you continue doing it for the last 5 years, wouldn't you be a great piano player right now? Would that be something you would value from? Yes. Or no, it's not worth it because it took 5 years. Sure, I can play the piano, but after 5 years, who cares? Is that what people say? Have you ever met anyone that's great at the piano and they're like, yeah, I'm really good at this, but it took me a while to learn, so I don't really care. Have you ever had that conversation with anyone? No. So who cares how long it's going to take? Isn't it about getting the result? But you know what? Most people's game plan is who complain about it's going to take 5 years. Their game plan is to work for 40 years at a job that they hate and maybe retire on 20% of the lifestyle that they had while they were working. What is this sound? There's lightning. Does anyone, does Ali Rosa, do you know what this is? There's something going on up there. If we die in the middle of the session, we're going to make sure it's the last session. It's the best session. We all have life insurance. Life insurance companies are going to be in trouble. But bro, there's going to be a big payout out of this room if this thing falls down. Hopefully it doesn't though. But anyways, let's continue. Let's continue. So here's the next thing. So one, it's going to take longer than you think. Here's the second thing you need to know. It's going to be harder than you think. It's also going to be harder than you think. Meaning there's going to be many days where you're going to be very challenged. Maybe one of those days is today. Maybe today you're coming to the session, you're like, dude, I don't know if I can do another day like this. That's okay. It's going to be harder than you think. My favorite story that illustrates why it takes a while to succeed is the butterfly and the cocoon story. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it, but I'll share it. So a young boy, 9, 10 years old, is walking through a forest. And then he sees this cocoon, okay? And he sees this cocoon and he sees the struggle that's happening for it to become a butterfly. And it's kicking and it's fighting. And the boy looks at it for a while. And the more it looks at it, it feels bad because it sees the pain that it's going through. By the way, you guys know I'm ESL, so somebody help me out. What's inside a cocoon? What is the thing inside the cocoon? Somebody turned off the light. Thank caterpillar, right? Okay, thank you. For anyone here for the first time, English is second language for me. Okay, I've only been in Canada for the last 22 years, so I'm still 21. I'm still working through it. Anyways, the caterpillar is struggling to get out of the cocoon. So this boy is looking at it and he's thinking, man, I don't like to see them struggle. I don't like to see them go through this. So guess what he does? He grabs a scissor, cuts the cocoon open, expecting that caterpillar is just going to fly out like a butterfly. But you know what happens instead? The caterpillar falls to the ground and dies. It's a pretty sad story, I understand. Hopefully that little boy didn't get traumatized by that. But and the boy goes crying to his dad, Dad, why did this happen? Why did the caterpillar die on the ground when I tried to save it? And the dad goes, it's the struggle that makes it a butterfly. It's the struggle that makes it a butterfly. Make sense? Look, a lot of you want to have a big team and a big organization. Yes or no? How many of you would like to have a big team and make $1 million a year passive income? Okay. Don't you think there's a certain level of responsibility you have to handle at that point? Don't you think? By the way, let me illustrate to you what I mean by this. For a lot of you new people here, right? You're working hard right now. You're committed. We appreciate you. But would you agree that maybe going out there and talking to people and getting rejection isn't the most fun part of the business? Okay. So a lot of you that are new feel that pain of that rejection. Now imagine you have a team of 500 people and you got to deal with all their rejections too. If you're not even able to handle your own rejection right now, how the heck are you going to handle the 500? So you see, the reason God is not giving you what you want because you're not ready for it yet. You haven't developed the mindset or the skill set or the capacity, the tolerance to handle that level of business. If I dealt with 10% of the problems that I'm dealing with right now 4 years ago, I would be in one of those places where they have cushions all around and crazy people hit them, right? Psychiatrist hospital, I don't know what they're... Asylum, right? I've seen the movies, right? I don't know if they even exist though, but they would send me there because I would go nuts. Because 4 years ago, I didn't have the same capacity that I do to handle what I'm handling right now. Would you agree? Okay. So that's why I didn't get this level of growth and success. But once I was ready for it, and how do you become ready for it? By going through the struggle. If you can go through hundreds of rejection, you're ready to lead 20, 30, 40 people. Make sense? If you can handle a certain level of problems, you can handle a lot of other people's problems. Here's what I learned when it comes to entrepreneurship and business. You get paid for the level of problems you solve. You get compensated for the level of problems you solve. Meaning, when you're new to business, what is the first problem you're trying to solve? Facing your fears and getting out of your comfort zone. Yes or no? Okay. That's a very important part of the process for you, but is it a super profitable problem for the world? No. But then one day you're going to get to a point where you're an SMD and you're helping 30 other people face their problems. Now that's a higher problem, but it's a much more profitable one. Yes or no? Because if you can help 30 people overcome the fear of rejection, now you got 30 great people that are going to make money, have success, and you're going to get some compensation for that. Am I right or am I wrong? Okay. So the higher the level of problem you learn to solve, the more money they'll compensate for it. So there is days where I go, dude, I can't believe I have to deal with all this. And then I stop. I go, I totally can't believe it because that's why they're paying me $100,000 a month. If I didn't have to deal with this level of problem, why would they pay me the money that they do? Does that make sense to all of you? So that's why the struggle is required. That's why it has to be difficult, because you have to build a certain level of capacity and tolerance to handle what you want to have. Are you with me or no?
Yes.
By the way, this is exactly why you hear a lot of stories of young celebrities, of young musicians, young movie stars who end up going into drugs and their life ends up becoming ruined, because they haven't developed the capacity to handle the level of success that they're getting. They haven't developed the capacity to be so famous. So when they go through that, they can't handle it. Make sense? That's why for them it's a little bit more difficult. But that's exactly why you should be thankful for your challenges. Next time you're having a bad day, next time you're like, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself this question. Do I need to get better at this thing? Do I need to handle this better in order to handle the challenges that I'm going to have to handle at my goal? You should write that down for yourself once in a while. Be like, my goal is to make, let's say, $50,000 a month. And let's say right now you're making $5,000 a month. You're stuck on something. Something's bothering you. Something's annoying you. You got to ask yourself this question. Would a $50,000 a month person deal with this problem the way I'm dealing with it, or would they be better with it? Because some of you get so heartbroken by a reschedule. I can't believe Tom rescheduled on me. Do you know how long I've known Tom? We've been friends for 5 years. Last time I spoke to him was 2 years ago, sure, but we had history. And he told me, look at the message, he told me he's gonna show up. And he didn't. He wasted my time. This is like someone like who's working minimum wage job. He wasted my time. And they're like heartbroken. For a week, they won't do an invite or follow-up. They won't even talk to people for a week. I can't do this. Tom didn't come to my meeting. Don't even say hi to me. Okay. Let me ask you a question. You're the same person that says you want to make $50,000 a month in 3 years? I totally get it's hard. I went through it too. I hated rejection. I was upset by reschedules and cancellations too. But you got to get some perspective. Are you playing at the level of standard that you are trying to achieve? Because I promise you, a $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month person doesn't give any craps about a reschedule. If anything, at that level, you're grateful for a reschedule because you get to eat lunch now. Right? But it's true. If you're hustling, if you got back-to-back meetings, when somebody reschedules, it's a good news because you're like, awesome, I'm going to eat lunch. But when you don't think you can book meetings, when you're in a scarcity mindset, when you think Tom is the only person that will ever come to then obviously you're going to get that upset. But in that moment, here's how you increase that recovery time. Maybe you got to pause and go, how would a $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $1 million a month person deal with this problem? You know what I do every time I hit a problem that's kind of tickles me a little bit? That's what I call it. I get tickled, right? When I get a little bit stressed by something. You know what I ask myself? I go, how would $1 million a month, how would $1 million a month person deal with this problem? Because my goal is to make $1 million a month in the next 2-3 years. So I go, how would $1 million a month person deal with this? And that's when I stop and I change my behavior. And let me tell you something. If you act like $1 million a year person long enough, they'll eventually pay you $1 million a year. If you act like $1 million a month person long enough, they'll eventually pay you $1 million a month. But you got to first act like it before you get the results. You got to first act like a bodybuilder before you get the muscles that a bodybuilder has. You know what a bodybuilder acts like? They go to the gym every day, no excuses. They have the right diet, even on the days where their friends are eating ice cream in front of them, right? They got that discipline. And if you act like that long enough, you'll have those results. There's no complication here. Is that fair? Yes. Awesome. Are we good so far or am I boring you? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Here's the next reason why the struggle is required. You got to be tested before you're given what you want. We talked about this last week. God gives us tests to see if we deserve what we want to have. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. One of those tests is the test of failure. One of those tests is the test of distractions. Your phone can be a distraction sometimes, especially in a session like this, so hopefully it's not distracting you. Another test is complacency. Okay? At each level of your success, you will be tested at a different level. So in the beginning, usually you're tested by failure. Then at some point, you get a little bit of success, you might be tested by distractions or complacency. But these tests are required to develop the resilience in you that you need to develop to get what you want to have. And I'm not going to go into details of it today. That's a different session. But it's a good reminder for all of you. If you're going through it, that's awesome. You're going on the right path. Let me ask you a question. Any of you have gone on a nice hike and a beautiful view anywhere? Oh, yeah, we're in Vancouver. There's a lot of places like that. In Canada, in general, there's a lot of places like that. Don't you have to maybe be a little bit tired along the way sometimes? Don't you trip sometimes and you scrape your knee? Okay, so look, the trail is gonna have certain path. What you want when you're looking for a mentor, when you come to a session like this, what you're looking for is, Nima, tell me what it looks like so I don't get shocked by it. If I go up that trail and I come back down and I say, guys, let me show you what's gonna happen. Here's the map. You're gonna see a bear here. This one is friendly. This is the nice bear. He's just gonna growl a little bit. You just walk along. He's got nothing to do with you. A couple more kilometers ahead, you're gonna find a bear. That one's not so friendly. For that one, you might need to like group up, scream a little bit. This is the weapon that you need. If it attacks you, don't go crazy. You'll be fine. Okay. Then you go a little bit up. This is the slippery part. Some of you are gonna trip. You're gonna hurt your knees. Okay. If you hurt your knees, here's what you do. That's the whole point of mentorship. It's not to make your life easier. It's to just make it more tolerable because you know it's part of the process. Because when you don't have mentorship and you're going towards success, it's easy to panic. You see that bear that has nothing, that doesn't have anything to do with you, and you go crazy. But that bear was the friendly one. But then that one doesn't attack you. You're like, dude, no bear attacks me. Then you go up 2 kilometers and a crazy bear comes after you. Like, wait, what the heck? This bear attacks. That's kind of what it's like in this business. You recruit some people and you're like, oh, they're so nice. They're coachable. They're listening. And then you go a little bit ahead and you're like, oh, there's some people that are not coachable at all and they ruin my life. Okay, part of the process. That's why you want to call your mentor sometimes and go, I recruited this one and I'm about to like quit and I'm about to like burn this whole building down. Don't burn it down. It's part of the process. You're going to find these people. It's okay. For me, I didn't have that mentorship when I first started that other office. But you know where I got it from? Jim Rohn. There's an audio called Jim Rohn, Building Your Network Marketing Business. Okay? I've probably listened to that, I don't know, 100 times. And when I would listen to it, every time somebody quit on me. Because he would tell me, hey, it's normal. People are going to quit. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll recruit another one. But do you understand what I'm saying now? So this is the first part of today's training. Is I wanted to show you what it's going to look like. Now, let's go to some tangible skills that you can use to actually avoid quitting. Is that okay? Yeah. And by the way, this applies to any area of your life that you want to get better at. Here's the first one. Read, watch, or listen to biographies of successful people. Why is this important? By the way, how many of you have taken action on this after the last time I brought it up to you? Okay, good job. What happens when you watch these documentaries? You go, dude, everyone goes through the same shit. Every time you read one of these books, you're like, whoa, these people were afraid too, but they did it anyways. So when you get into a habit of reading, watching, and listening to biographies of successful people, you see the path to success. So it makes it much easier for you to go through it. Because yeah, you hear me say it, but how easy is it to forget this? Very easy. Some of you saw this session in a different way before. You've already maybe forgotten some of it. So that's a good reminder. By the way, you know what's a great skill that you need to develop if you want to be successful? You got to become a better mentor to yourself. You know, when I was new to the business, back in the other office, on a day-to-day basis, I felt like quitting. But I heard this one other person in a seminar that was making, I think, $400,000 a year at the time. He came up and said, for the first 2 years of my business, I felt like quitting every day. So every day I felt like quitting, you know what I would say? So-and-so also felt like quitting. That's okay, I'm going to keep going. By the way, I played another game with myself. I recommend you play this game with yourself too. Every time I felt like quitting, I would say to myself, probably there's thousands of other people that came across the same challenge that I'm going through. By the way, how many of you have realized by this point that the challenges in our business is all the same? You might go through it at different stages, but the challenges are all the same. By the way, it's the same with anything. If you want to become a professional athlete, the challenges on that road is all the same as well. Yes or no? Okay. So here's what I realized. I said, okay, probably everyone else goes through what I'm going through. And at this point where I feel like giving up, I assume 1,000 other people gave up too. And because I'm not going to give up is why I deserve to succeed. Because you got to understand, back then as a 20-year-old kid, no background in anything, only had one job and they begged me to quit because I was such a bad employee. I didn't come into this with a lot of belief that I'm going to kill it. Right? And the people around me didn't really give me much confidence either with their feedback. Okay? So you got to understand, for me, every day I'm going and seeing people that are engineers quit the business, doctors quit the business, accountants quit the business, successful older people that I look up to quit the business. So I had to play a game with myself to convince myself why I deserve to win. Because I'm looking around, I'm like, how are these people that are so smart, that are so capable, that are so educated quitting? If they quit, what chance do I have? And this is the game that I played. Whenever I felt like quitting, I said, I'm going to go one more day, and that's why I deserve to win. Whenever I felt like quitting, I said, you know what? Probably another 2,000 people felt like quitting. because I'm not going to, that's why I deserve to win. How many of you do that with yourself? I'm curious, because that's a great exercise to work on, because we're so good at selling ourselves why we can't. How often do you sell yourself on why you can? It's the sales pitch. The question is, what are you selling? Here's the second one. Give yourself a reality check often. I remember, and I've shared this story before, but I want to share it again. When I was in that other office, after 6 months, I was getting killed in this business. You guys have heard this story before, right? I was getting destroyed. Like, no, everyone was saying no. And by the way, some of you get a no, like, hey, I'm not interested, thank you. Or like, then I'll let you know, right? You know what I got? I can't even say it because we're in a public setting, and if I swear, some people are gonna get upset. But I did not. No one was like, "Oh, like I'm not interested." Like, you? If anyone else tells me to come, maybe I'll go. With you, though, hell no. That was my type of rejection. You understand? It wasn't like I'll let you know. It's like, dude, I'll let you know every day how much you're gonna suck at this. Okay? Just keep texting me. I'm not gonna block you. I'm just gonna remind you. These were not the most friendly people around. Okay? So I wasn't really having a good time in the business, as you can imagine. Now this is happening in the summer. I'm playing soccer in Ambleside in West Van, and I'm having a good day. I've told this story before, right? We're playing in cage. It's fun day. I'm scoring goals. I'm megging people. It's going off, okay? And people are like, dude, like you should stay. And it was one of those games where like winner stays. So every time we beat a team, somebody left and we stay. So people are like, you should stay. You should stay. We're dominating. And we had one of our meetings happening. Back then, the meetings were on Tuesdays. And I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay and play another 2 hours or go to that meeting? And my friends were making fun of me. Dude, don't go to that pyramid thing. Like, what are you going to do, scam people? You know, just do it here while we're playing soccer. I'm like, dude, shut the hell. Anyways. And then someone came by the side of the place that we were playing. And this gentleman had invited me to another business 6 months ago. And they were super excited. Like, yeah, we're going to become millionaires. We'll have private jets in like 3 months. Clearly, they had no idea what success is going to look like. And this guy came by, and I'm like, maybe I'll hear some good news. So I'm like, hey, man, how's it going with your business? Like, you guys killing it? The private jet? What's happening? He's like, no, I quit. And for a minute, I actually got a little bit happy because I felt like quitting too. I'm like, maybe it's okay for me to quit, right? Then I'm like, well, what are you doing now? He goes, I'm working at the bank as a teller. And then I stopped and said, what the heck am I quitting for? I'm going to quit and go and do the same job that I hate? I'm going to quit and go back to the same problem that got me here? So that's what I mean when I say give yourself a reality check often, because some people quit as if they have somewhere to go. I'm going to say that one more time because I think some of you missed it. Some people quit this thing like they have somewhere better to go. Right? Again, I'm going to ask you this question. What game plan do you have? Because I have many game plans to show you where you can make $1 million a year within 4 or 5 years, where you can have passive income that's making you $5,000, $10,000 a month with not doing even that much work. I can show you those game plans. Where else are you going to quit to go to that's going to give you a better result than that? Because if you don't have somewhere better to go, you might as well stay. So here's my rule to this day. If it's 10 times better, I leave. If somebody comes to me with an opportunity that's 10 times better than this, I'll piece it. Why? Because if it's only 2 times better, it's not worth me jumping from branch to branch. If it's only 3 times better, it's not worth me jumping. But it needs to be 10 times better all across the board. Not just money, but also in the way we help people. But also in the way it's going to help me grow as a person. How it's aligned with my vision and purpose. And to this day, I haven't found something even 5% better than this. There's nothing better than this. Forget about 10 times better. But that's my rule. Because if I don't play it like that, I'm going to jump branch to branch and I'm going to ruin my life. Yes or no? Yes. So here's number 3 now. Cycle of behavior. Now, this one is important. We've gone over this a few times, but this is hugely important. So what this cycle of behavior talks about, it's basically the science behind why we do the things that we do. Have you ever wondered why some people who really want to lose weight never go to the gym? Anyone here wonder this, or you guys are just like, yeah, whatever? Have you ever wondered why that friend who's like, man, I really hate being in this health condition, keeps eating the same cheesecake, even though you offer them carrots? Okay. Have you wondered why people in our business who know exactly what they need to do avoid doing it day after day after day? They find a way to sabotage themselves, and they just don't seem to be doing the obvious things. Okay, here's why. It's the cycle of behavior. And what the cycle of behavior says is that all of our behavior goes through a certain cycle. The first cycle is what happens. So I'll give you an example. Someone rejects you, right? You go and talk to them about the business and they say, I'm not interested. That's the external stimulus. Yes or no? Okay. That event goes through a certain belief system. Some people, their belief system is what? Rejection is bad. It's personal. It means I'm not good enough. It means my business is not good. This feels bad. I don't like it. That's the belief, yes? That belief turns into a feeling or emotion. By the way, feelings and emotion are felt in the body before you recognize them in the mind. A lot of people make the mistake that they think their emotion starts in the mind. Your emotion actually starts in the body. That's why when somebody rejects you, what is the first thing you feel? What is it? You feel it right here, don't you? Especially when you're not used to rejection. Ow, that hurts. Yeah? Okay, so you feel it in the body. Then your mind justifies why you feel that way through your belief system. Oh, the reason I feel this pain is because I'm not a people person. I'm an introvert. I just don't like to have someone question what I do. Okay? And what does that lead to in terms of behavior? Is that person going to keep inviting? No. The next time they're in a situation to invite, you know what they think? They go, last time I did this, that's how I felt. I'm not going to do it anymore. And what is the result of that? They quit the business. They never get the success that they wanted. So here's the question. Out of these 5 elements, the stimulus, which is the external event, the belief system, the feelings and emotions, the behavior and action, and the results, out of these 5 parts of the cycle, which one is in our control? Action, so behavior, for the 3 people that are still here, out of there's 180 people, I think, in person, 3 people are responding, which is amazing. I appreciate it. I understand you're tired. You've been talking for so long. It's your voice. Okay. So which one of these? Please participate. Which one of these do you have control over? Behaviors and actions. What's the other one? There's 2 things you have control over. Beliefs. That's it. So out of all these, you don't have control over what happens to you. Would you agree? Sometimes things just happen. Yes or no? Okay. You don't have control over how you feel. Some people go, are you sure, Nima? Yeah, look, cry right now. If I told someone to cry, they can't do it. Even if you're Tom Cruise, you have a hard time. Like, what the hell? Why is someone to cry in front of all these people? So you can't make yourself cry right away, right? But if I tell you to think about a pink elephant, can you do that? Okay, where do our beliefs come from? From our thoughts, from our self-talk. Yes or no? Okay. So you can control the belief, but you can't control the feelings or emotions. And you can control our behavior. Yes or no? Have any of you ever been in a situation where you didn't feel like going to the gym, but you went anyways? Okay, good job. Almost every day. Respect. I'm the same way. Okay, you don't feel like doing something, but you do it anyway. By the way, what happens after you do it? How many of you feel phenomenal after you do it? Okay. Whether it's the gym. By the way, a lot of people hate the licensing. So do I. How many of you do the licensing for an hour and feel great after? You go, thank God I studied that license that it's out of the way. Yes or no? Okay. So you see, you have control over the behavior too. Now, if you feel like doing it, the behavior becomes easier. Because our willpower is limited. If you use your willpower for everything that you do throughout the day, you'll be drained by the end of the day. Make sense? Okay. But the 2 things you can control is your beliefs and behaviors. If you can change the beliefs though, the behavior becomes significantly easier. Meaning, if you hate going to the gym, because maybe before your belief about going to the gym was that it's a waste of time, you're going to be around a lot of sweaty people, it's going to be weird, people are going to look at me like they're not looking at you, they're looking in the mirror reflection and you're just standing there, but whatever you feel like saying, right? But people make up these excuses. They go, I just feel uncomfortable at the gym, whatever. If you have that belief system, what is your feelings towards going to the gym? Bad. You don't want to go. You're like, dude, why would I want to go in this setting where I know I'm going to feel like shit? So then are you going to go to the gym or avoid it? But what if your belief system is different? What if it's, I love going to the gym? What if it's, you know what? I like going to the gym because I feel better after. I like going to the gym because when I go there, I gain more confidence doing something that I usually don't like doing. Okay, now the next time you have a headache and don't want to go to the gym, what do you say? You know I have a headache, but I always feel better after going to the gym. Let me go to the gym anyways. Make sense? Okay, so you can change the belief set. So when it comes to quitting, it's the exact same thing. See, some people develop a belief that it's okay to quit. That's why they quit everything. Some people develop it. By the way, when I talk about quitting, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about leaving the business. I know a lot of zombies in WFG. You're like, Nima, what do you mean by zombies? I know a lot of people who are here for 10 years. They stop trying after 2 years. You don't believe me? When we go to Vegas, I'm going to take you on a tour to introduce you to the zombies. Okay? I'll be like, hey, this is so-and-so. Okay, so-and-so has been in business for 15 years. After 3 years, they never tried again. Oh, okay, hi, so-and-so. How do I not be like you? And then you go to the next person. I honestly think that's a way more productive conversation than going up to the leaders. Because you hear the leaders on the stage. It's the zombies you want to go and talk to. I'm serious. By the way, one of my biggest motivations, and I'm not saying this to diss anyone, it's just the truth. One of my biggest motivations was when I came into this business, I saw a lot of people who were here for 5 years were still an associate. Who were here for 10 years were still an MD. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully they'll change and they'll make it happen and they'll grow. But my nightmare was being like them. My nightmare was, what if I'm here for 5 years and I'm still freaking associate? What if I'm here for 10 years and I'm still an MD? And that nightmare is what got me going. This is what we call the pain and pleasure perception. This is what we call the pain and pleasure perception. See, the only reason I stand in front of you today is I found things that I found more painful than the activity that I found painful at the time. So I hated talking to people, trust me. I hated getting rejection. I hated going and doing the presentations in the beginning when I had no confidence. I hated it all. But you know what I hated worse? Being a loser. Very simple. If you get offended by that, welcome to my sessions. You get offended here, okay? Get over it. Does that make sense though? I hated being a loser. You know what else I hated? Working a job that I hate. Having someone tell me what to do with my life. I hated that more than anything. You know what else I hated? All the people who told me I could never make it telling me I told you so. So every day I woke up with anxiety because I knew I had to go talk to people and I hated talking to people. But then I said, you know, I feel shit about talking to people, but I would feel way shittier if Tommy told me I told you so. If your name is Tommy, I'm not talking about you. It's just an example. But I'm just saying. Does that make sense? I'm not gonna let that happen. I hated losing more than I hated calling my team members who kept giving me the same excuses. So I called them anyways. Does that make sense? This is called the pain and pleasure perception. When you perceive something more painful than something else, it's easy to change the behavior. Make sense? So I totally understand. By the way, licensing, I hated licensing. Like I dropped out of university to avoid academics. So I'm telling you the licensing, I didn't like. But you know what I hated more? I would sit there and go, if I don't study this license and I don't get licensed, no one on my team is going to get licensed. If no one on my team gets licensed, I'm going to be a loser. I don't want to be a loser. Let me go study the license. That's the pain side. I love the pain side, but I'll tell you there's the pleasure side too. Here's the pleasure side. If I get licensed, I can make this much money and I don't have to worry about financial problems again. You can also use the pleasure side. Does that make sense? But here's what I've learned about human nature. We are more likely to avoid pain than seek pleasure. Meaning most people are more motivated by avoiding pain than they are by seeking pleasure. So thinking about losing your house will get you moving faster than buying a new one. Does that make sense? Thinking about if I don't get my shit together, I'm going to lose my house, gets you moving faster than buying a new one. So for me, that pain side was something I clicked into often. But the pleasure side is there too. That's why you want to every morning wake up and go over your goals and why and visualize where you're going. So you can remember why you're doing what you're doing. You know why people turn into zombies here? Because they forget why they started. Why do they start? Does anyone come to WFG just to make a couple $1,000s? For sure they do. Some people want to come on part-time. But once they open Pandora's box and realize how much money you can make here, what do they say after a while? Dude, I came here for $1,000 a month, but now I want to make 10,000. Now I want to make 20,000. Now I want to make 100,000. You come to Vegas, you're like, dude, I want to make $1 million a month. Right? Okay. It's like taking the red pill in Matrix. Once you take the pill, you're screwed because you've seen the reality of it. Okay. But guess what happens after a couple years? They have such a hard time hitting 100K. They go, if it's this hard to hit 100K, how the hell am I going to do $1 million? But here's what they don't understand. It's the freaking bamboo tree. The 100K is the hardest ring to get. The hardest ring to get is 100K. My hardest ring was the 100K. I used to visualize that on my finger like a crazy person when I drove all the time. The first time I saw the 100K ring in real life, I was like the guy in Lord of the Rings, the little freaky one with the, my precious. That's how much I wanted it. But it was so hard for me to get it. Now I'm getting my 100K ring every month. But you understand? But here's the thing. Based on our logical perception, we think if it was this hard to do this, it's going to be 10 times harder to do the million. It's not true. The million is like only half. It's not even close to being as hard. You know why? Because when you get good at working out and you lift higher weights, it's not that hard to upgrade to higher ones. Make sense? Because your body has accommodated. You've become an athletic person. Your muscles are ready for more increase. But in the beginning, when you've never lifted a weight before, of course it's going to suck. Make sense? So please, please, please remember, it's not going to be 10 times harder to go to that. MD is way harder than SMD. MD is way harder than SMD. SMD is way harder than EMD or CEO. I'm telling you. So stop thinking that it's going to be, but a lot of people go, if it was this hard for this, it's going to be way harder. So they're using the pain perception, but they're using it against themselves. Make sense? So use the pain and pleasure perception. Use that for your benefit. Now, by the way, this is how I overcame procrastination. I used to be the goat of procrastination, right? You would have Sunday night, that's amateur. Monday morning, my guy. Okay? You did your homework Sunday night. I did it Monday morning while I was waiting for the teacher to come into the class. I was the procrastination king. You thought you knew how to procrastinate. Come talk to me. You'll see procrastination. The only way I got over procrastination was the pain and pleasure perception. I made a video on YouTube, how to overcome your procrastination. The only tip that matters more than anything else is the pain and pleasure perception. And this is the self-motivated skill set. So if you ever wonder, how do I become more self-motivated? Master the pain and pleasure perception. And this is something that I learned from Tony Robbins logically, but I was doing it for a long time before. By the way, I did it even in soccer. When I was playing soccer, our team was losing. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to take this loss. And I would go way harder, even though I was already tired. Pain and pleasure perception. This is the tool for the self-motivated. You want to become more self-motivated? You want to become more self-driven? Learn how to use the pain and pleasure perception. Next time you're in that thing where you're like, dude, I don't know if I want to do this, go, if I don't do it, what's the consequence? And play that tape in your mind. And let me teach you a trick. If it doesn't make you anxious, you're not doing it right. You got to get your emotions involved. Like when I was thinking about working a job, it would make me anxious thinking about that. That's why I could override the anxiety of talking to people. When I thought about my team not getting licensed, it made me anxious. And it was a much higher anxiety than me studying the license. So I studied it anyways. Am I losing anyone or is this good so far? Okay. Here's the next one. Never miss a meeting. In our business, you guys know the most important. If you ask me, Nima, if there's one thing you could force everyone to do, what would it be? If somebody honestly asked me, they go, Nima, if there was one thing you could force everyone in your team to do, you could force them. What would it be? Would it be talking to people? No. Would it be, making more sales? No. You know what it would be? Showing up to the meetings every week. Do you know why? Because, thank you, Bassa. Bassa wants to know why. I love that. It's because every time you come back here, you get into an environment with like-minded people. You get into an environment where you're reminded of all these things. Some of you might have heard this from me before, but every time you get reminded, it re-energizes you. Yes or no? Yes. By the way, what's the point of learning something if you don't repeat it to yourself all the time? How come people go to church every Sunday? I'm curious. Is it just because they're bored? Did the Bible get upgraded like season 2's out? Why do people keep going back? They go back because they need to be reminded of the lessons that were in the original text. Yes or no? Because if they don't go back every week, they're not going to be reminded of the ways to live, and they're not going to live in the way that they should. That's why every religion, no matter what it is, there is a repetition of you going back to a seminar setting, to reading a text, yes or no, to be reminded of what it is that you're living by. It's the same with anything. That's why professional soccer players still practice 4 or 5 times a week. You think, well, once you become a pro, you're already good at it. Why do you need to practice so much? Because they need to keep being reminded of the skills. The muscle memory goes away if you don't do it. So repetition is key. So every time you come to these sessions, you get re-energized. Every time you come to these sessions, you're reminded of, I'm going the right way. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just part of the process of success. Yes or no? Every time you come here, you're reminded of what matters and what's important, so you go and act on it. True? Yes. That's why I still listen to audiobooks more than ever. I read books all the time. I listen to the one-invite videos that I post in the group. I listen to those one-invite videos more than you guys do. Because if I don't, I go back to the same negative person I used to be. So by the way, why do you keep showering? I'm curious. It's because you smell if you don't. There is nothing permanent in life. Some of you might get a heart attack right now. There is nothing permanent. That means if you get jacked, go to the gym, get a lot of muscles, and then stop going to the gym, you will get fat again. I'm sorry to break it to you. But I worked so hard to get the muscle. No one cares. If you stop, you get fat again. Make sense? So anything you stop doing, you go backwards again. Make sense? So if you stop showering, you stink again. If you stop coming to places that motivate you, that energize you, that teach you things, you're not going to be motivated or energized anymore. Yes or no? Yes. By the way, this is one of the competitive advantages that self-employed people don't have. So you should be grateful for it. Okay, the next point that I'm going to go over. Okay, this fifth one is for the, who here believes they're super resilient, committed, disciplined, they'll never quit anything? Raise your hand. 3 people. Amazing team you have here. Raise your hand if you're never going to quit, please. If you're an SMD and you don't raise your hand, we're in trouble. Okay. Okay, most of the room raised their hand. Awesome. Okay, this is for you now. Does that make, this is for my mentally tough, I'll go through anything, nothing will stop me. This section is for you. Are you ready? Yeah. This is the thing that kills the beast. And I say that in a good way. The top players, the top 1%, this is the thing that kills them, burnout. Because those guys, those top players, those top mindsets, everything I've said so far, they're already doing. Yes or no? Yes. They never miss a meeting. They use the pain and pleasure perception to self-motivate themselves. They give themselves a reality check often. They read and watch and listen to biographies of successful people all the time. Like Roman was telling me that he's reading the book of Abraham Lincoln and how much problems he went through. Don't you think that helps Roman go through his problems? 100%. Okay. So the top players are already doing the 4 things. It's the 5th one that kills them, burnout. Who here has heard of burnout before? Okay, because we do sessions on that. That's good. Okay, but here's what it is with burnout. When it comes to burnout, it's different than laziness. The symptoms of burnout is very similar to laziness. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like getting out of bed. You just feel like you're drained. Does that make sense? Yeah. But here's the main difference between burnout and laziness. Burnout is a state of extreme exhaustion and disengagement, typically caused by excessive stress, while laziness is a lack of motivation or willingness to engage in activities and underlying stressor. Okay? It's important to differentiate between the two and address them accordingly, as the causes and strategies for dealing with them can be quite different. So those zombies that I mentioned to you earlier, some of them went through burnout and they never really recovered. Make sense? They went through that burnout and they're like, dude, I can't go through this again. So they blame the business. They didn't blame their internal lack of tools. Here's what I'll tell you about burnout. It's not about how much you work. Some people actually think, oh, well, burnout is only for people that work a lot. I know people that work 16 hours a day that never get burnt out. 16 hours a day. I know people that work an hour a day and they're dead from burnout. Like, I know people who are like, dude, I woke up and I went and said hi to someone, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, literally, I know people that work an hour a day and they get burnt out way more than the guy that works 18 hours a day. You know why that is? Because the difference between it is the level of stress you put yourself through. Burnout is caused from stress, not from excessive work. Yes, can excessive work make you more stressed out? 100%. But stress is the issue, nothing else. Let me explain to you what the 1 hour a day person is and why they're burnt out. They work for an hour, and you know what they do for the rest? What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh my God, Sally didn't make eye contact with me today. She hates me now. Oh my God, Joanne hasn't replied to my text message for 3 minutes. It's because of the business. She knows I'm going to invite her. Right? Oh no, what if I can never get licensed? What if I get licensed and I'm not good at the business? Ah! It's like a mental explosion on a day-to-day basis that they go through. By the way, here's what happens. These people, first, they're stressed about money. Then they make money. They're like, I don't know what to do with my money. Then they're stressed about that. Then they find out what to do with their money. They're like, I don't know what to do because I'm making too much money and I don't know what. There's always a reason. These are the people that no matter what happens to them, no matter what they fix in their life, they still have a problem. By the way, I know these people. I used to be one of them. Okay? This is coming from your inability to de-stress. Genetically, I was listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast. If you haven't, I think it's a really good one. And he talks about the science of stress and everything. He says genetically, every human being has the ability to stress themselves and to de-stress. By the way, we need to stress ourselves. But there's different types of stress. Short-term stress is good for us. They actually recommend putting yourself through short-term stress in order to avoid illness. Let me give you an example. So Andrew Huberman talks about this. He goes, if I'm feeling like I'm getting sick, I'll go do an ice bath. And the stress on my body makes my immune system work overboard, so it kills the bacteria and the virus before I get sick. So short-term stress is good for you. Even medium-term stress is good for you. You know what medium-term stress is? It's when your midterm is coming up and you're studying more than ever. By the way, when your midterm's coming up, you're 4 Red Bulls deep, you're so focused. That's not just because of the Red Bull. It's also because of your stress. Monday morning, I'm the greatest student of all time. 7:30 to 8 a.m. before my teacher comes in. I'm killing it because I'm so stressed. By the way, that's part of the reason people procrastinate. They procrastinate to get themselves to a level of stress where they actually take action. Kind of a weird way to do it, but that's why people procrastinate. If you wonder why do people procrastinate? Because they're trying to get themselves so stressed out where they just do it anyways. I don't think it's a good strategy. It ruins your life to a certain extent, but it's a strategy. So even medium-term stress is okay. It's long-term stress that kills you. Meaning when you're in chronic stress for a long period of time, that's when all the symptoms hit you. Not being able to sleep, the health issues, all those things. So we need to learn to stress and de-stress. Make sense? And I'm going to teach you guys this if that's okay with you. You guys are okay with that? Yeah. Okay. So let's first go over what stresses most people out. The first one, and it's related to our business, but it's related to everything, spending too much time on 80% activities versus 20% activities. Meaning, the 80% activities are the ones that generate you only 20% of your results. So if you're spending a lot of time on admin work, on non-committed team members, trying to convince them to become committed, on over-planning, on trying to convince people, how do I get John, who never listens, to get him to listen? This will stress you out very quickly. Yes or no? Okay. By the way, I'm going to go over the stresses first, and here's what I want you to get from the stressors. With the stressors that I'm going to go over, your job is to try to avoid these as much as possible. Some of them are avoidable, some of them are not. But when I'm going over it, you want to ask yourself, which one of these am I letting happen more often than I need to and can reduce it? Is that okay? Yeah. Here's another one. The one that actually gets people the most. Internal drama. Not external drama, internal drama. What is internal drama? Negotiating constantly with yourself over what you should do or shouldn't do. This is the number one trait of the 1 hour workday that is burnt out. Should I talk to them? No, I shouldn't talk to them. I should talk to them. No, I shouldn't talk to them. Even if I did talk to them, what should I say to them? That's not a good thing to say to them. Nima told me to say that, but this is different. Number one trademark of an uncultured person. This is different. I shouldn't say, no, I should. An invite that takes them 3 minutes takes them 4 hours. And then you know what they do after the invite? I need a break. And I should go to the gym, but I shouldn't go to the gym. I should, but I don't know. 3 hours. In that 3 hours, they could have done 3 workouts. Okay, I'll go to the gym. Then they go to the gym. Should I do the treadmill? Just the weight today. I'll do the treadmill for 5 minutes. I'll do the weight. I should do treadmill because it's cardio. Okay, I'll do treadmill. Am I doing the treadmill right? Should I do that? This person's going faster. Oh, I'm not as fast. I knew I was a loser anyways. Do it all day. And then they have a 12-hour day and they get 2 things done. And then my time management skills, I need to work on. Yeah, Nima, my time management. No, it's not your time management. It's your constant negotiating. You know what I started to avoid this? I put a timer on my decisions. I had every decision that I need to make, I give myself 2 minutes to make it. That's it. Should I go to the gym? Timer's on. 1 minute. Okay, I'll go to the gym. Or I don't go to the gym. But I got 2 minutes to make the decision. Make sense? So this process kills people. Here's another one. Negative thoughts and self-talk. If you have any of you ever hung out with someone who's been very negative towards you? Yes. Whether it's a bully, okay. How did you feel after? Not bad. Like, did you come out of that hangout and was like, dude, I'm so pumped up to take over the world. They called me a loser. They said I'm never gonna get anywhere. They said I'm stupid. I can't wait to take over. Is that how you felt? No. Yeah. You know what you felt? This is part of what you look like. Oh man, what's the point? Oh. That negative association that I just mentioned is in your head. Every day you wake up, you're like, and I made this example before, right? If I invite someone to your house, right, as just an experiment, and this person is just gonna shit on you all day, would you be surprised if you got depressed after 3 days? No. Good morning, John. How are you? You look ugly. Let's go in. Well, thank you for saying. I don't know why you would call me ugly. Don't worry about it. You're also overweight. Does anyone even you calling your friend? Is that even your real friend? Let's be honest. They're probably gonna backstab you soon. All day, and then they go to their friend and say, I don't know why I'm anxious. Why am I so depressed all the time? Have you heard the shit you say to yourself all day? You know how I know this? I used to be this person. You think I went through depression because I was saying good things to myself? I'm such an awesome person. No, I was doing the same thing to myself. And then one day I realized how I'm self-sabotaging and self-harming myself. So then I decided to change. But that negative thought and self-talk drains you and it stresses you out. Because when you tell yourself how bad you are, does that make you feel good about yourself? No. But you know what it does? It makes you stressed. Why do you get stressed? Because now you don't think you're capable of surviving. Your brain goes, if I'm this bad, how the hell am I going to live another day? So that's why it stresses you out like crazy. Here's another stressor, being a victim. Similar to the other one. But being a victim, here's the main problem with that. You feel out of control. If nothing is your fault, that means nothing is in your control. Does that make sense? If your job sucks because of your boss, if your business sucks because of your mentor and your team members, if your mental health is low because of the people you have around you, if everything is everyone else's fault, you know what that means? You have zero control over your life. Once your boss gets better, maybe your job will get better. Once your mentor gets better, your team members get better, maybe your business will get better, right? The biggest thing that causes stress is feeling like you don't have control over your future, over your life. So the reason being a victim is such a huge stressor is because you feel like you're helpless. And when you feel helpless, your stress levels go through the roof. Make sense? Just like how my mic went through the roof here. Here's another one, external drama. Now, this is things that happen. Stuff in your personal life, stuff in your business life. I don't think I'll have enough time, but maybe I will, who knows? Okay, depends if you guys are not bored yet, but I can actually also go over how to handle crisis if you guys like today, right? But let's see. But external drama, things that happen. Here's another thing, not taking enough breaks or not resting when you do. Yes, you should. One of the biggest mistakes that I made in my first 2 years in WFG when I was in the other office is I didn't take any days off. I used to think like an employee. I thought the more hours I work, the more results I'll get. That's not how it works. So I was working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and I got killed because of it. But here's the key. If you take Sunday off, but all you do is worry and stress, you didn't have a day off. Because that's what some people do. They'll take a break and they go, oh, finally, I can have some time to myself. Okay, so I'm a loser. I suck. My business shit. I can't believe that happened last week. I can't believe the world's going to end because of global warming. I can't believe this person's going to destroy the world. And then they go on Monday, like, I just don't feel rested. I don't know what it is. When you rest, you actually have to rest. That's why, you know what I used to do? Because I had this overthinking, this negative. Every time I took a day off, I used to do something that would get my mind off of the other things. So I would play video games. I would go play soccer with my friends. I would distract myself with another activity that had nothing to do with my business because then I couldn't go on bullying myself. So what I recommend to some people who deal with negativity a lot within themselves, they have that anxiety. I go, look, take a day off, but don't spend any time with yourself. Go hang out with some positive friends. Go play soccer. Go hiking. Go skiing. Go snowboarding. Do something to get yourself out of that headspace that you're in and out of that normal business activity that you do. Once you get to the point where you really got a good handle on your self-talk, you got a really good, then you can go on, go for a walk by yourself, do whatever you want to do. But that's what I recommend. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying don't spend time with yourself, but I'm saying do something with yourself that distracts you from the negativity. Because on that day off, if all you're doing is being negative, it's not going to work. You know what? I can share something with you guys. I go on a lot of vacations. I feel sometimes more stress coming back from a vacation than going into it. You know why? Because sometimes the plane ride doesn't go so well. Sometimes it's a little bit inconvenient with some of the things that happen. The time zone is different, so I'm not getting good sleep. So I'm having physical stress on my body. Yes or no? Okay. So that's why what I've learned to do is I take a day or two off. Connor's like, what are you talking about? He's a travel expert. Connor travels the world with he'll write a book on that, how to travel without getting rich. Okay? Because if you travel when you're rich, I'm totally okay with it. Right? But now he's doing it. He's actually now like travel and get rich. So that's the new book. That's volume 2. Volume 1 was like travel with no money. Volume 2 is travel and you have money at the same time. But that's good. But hey, he killed it. He's qualified for the contest. Now we're going to take you on a trip, whether you want to come or not. So that's good. And you made $20,000 while you're doing it. So it's awesome. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not just about taking the time off. It's about actually resting, letting go. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to handle everything and actually take a break. Make sense? Yeah. Okay. Here are things you can do to de-stress. Here are the things you can do to reduce stress. Here's the first one, breath work. One of the things that Andrew Huberman talks about is he goes, the most efficient way to de-stress in speed, because sometimes you're in an environment where you don't have time to go and meditate, right? Like something is happening right in front of you. You don't have, hey, I know we're fighting. Give me 20 minutes. I'm just going to go meditate real quick. Alan Watts, it's going to be fine, and I'll come back. You don't have that luxury all the time. Would you agree? Okay. So here's how you can de-stress on the spot. He calls it the physiological sigh. It's very simple. It's a breathing pattern that consists of 2 breath inhales through the nose, followed by an exhale through the mouth. Actually, let's practice right now together. Take 2 inhales through the nose and a long exhale through the mouth. If you have bad breath, bring a gum next time. Okay. Who feels a little bit less stressed? Okay. This is only one person. Okay, call Andrew Huberman, complain. I don't know what's going on. But here's the reality. If you do this many times, even if you're super stressed, you'll feel way less stressed after it. By the way, we all do this naturally. How many of you go like this? How many of you have done that? That's the physiological sigh. It's just not conscious. It's subconscious. Again, genetically, we all have the ability to stress ourselves and de-stress ourselves. It's built in. One of those is the sigh. And the key here is a long exhale, short inhales. Make sense? So the next time you're stressed, you're panicking, you're about to send an essay text to someone and ruin their life, put the phone away before you text them and do this exercise a few times. Okay? And then reconsider your decision. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Here's another one. Gratitude list. Gratitude list. Look, one of the things that I do, this is what I do all the time. When I feel really stressed out, and it doesn't happen that often anymore because my capacity for stress has increased. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. What I'll do is this. I did this, I think, 2 weeks ago. I got stressed out by a situation. So I took out a piece of paper and a pen, and I started writing the things that I'm grateful for. Every time I would write something, I would do the inhale, the double inhale, the breath out, and I would think about it. So I'll write down, I'm grateful for my amazing team. I'm grateful for my good health. And in that moment, I would actually feel grateful as I'm doing that breath. I kid you not. I will go from level 100 stress to level 5. If any of you are like, what happened to Nima's passion? It's still there. You know it's still there. It just doesn't come out as often. But like, he usually gets so angry. I've been doing these exercises. So thank that tools. But I'm telling you, it's a game changer. And the last time I did this, when I was super stressed, I had to write out 11 things of gratitude, do the breathing, and after the 11th one, I felt better. And for me, I love what Tony Robbins says. Most seminars are 9 to 5, right? Most seminars. Tony Robbins seminars are 9 to 3 a.m. if they have to be. And his mentality is, he goes, we're solving for results. So if it takes us until 3 a.m. to get you results, I do the same thing. I do that gratitude and breath work until I'm calmed down. Because here's what most people do. They go, one thing, I'm still stressed. It doesn't work. Nothing works. I'm broken. And then they get 10 times more stressed. You laughing? I promise you people do this every day. You know the affirmations? That's one of them, by the way. In order to change your emotion, you got to move. You feel stress first in your body before you feel it in the mind. It's more physical than it is actually mental. You know what you do? You get stress in your body, and then you justify with your mind. So you feel the stress. You feel the tightness of breath. You feel that sinking. And then you know what you go, it's because my team did this, da, 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 da. And then as you think about why you're stressed, you get 10 times more stressed. That's why the worst thing you can do is ask yourself why you're stressed, why you're anxious, or why you're sad. Because your brain is chat GPT. As soon as you ask it that, it will give you 100 different responses. And it will make you more anxious, more sad, and more stressed. Does that make sense? Yeah. That's why when I go through this, I just go gratitude list and the breath work. I don't ask questions. But you feel it in the body first. And in order to change your emotion, you have to change your emotion. Tony Robbins talks about all the time. In order to change your emotion, you have to change your emotion. So one of the best things to do to change your emotional state, move your body. By the way, when you're anxious, it's the hardest thing to do. When you're sad, it's the hardest thing. When you're sad, the last thing you want to do is put on some Kid Rock or something and just, whatever it is. You're sad. You don't want to do that. I get it. There's a resistance. But what can you control? The thoughts and the behavior. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So motion. So that's what I do. But when I do my affirmation, when I move my body, I do it until the problem is solved. I don't stop. Meaning, if one song doesn't get me into a good energetic state, I do a second song. Make sense? But you know what most people do? 30 seconds into the song. I don't feel like Gugush anymore. They're like, for Persian people, like, Gugush, you're dancing. I'm tired of Gugush. It's not working. It doesn't work for me. Or it just works for Tony Robbins and Nima. You give up too quick. You quit too fast. But you know why you quit? Because you have another choice. You quit because you can afford to have that feeling. I can't. I'm running a business. I can't afford to sit there and be like, oh my God, I'm so sad. Dude, I got to get to. So for me, I got to do it until I get the result because I got shit to do. I got big goals. I want to make $1 million a month in 3 years. I don't have time to sit around and feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to sit around and go, oh, I'm so depressed. I got to get to it. And I know some of you are like, that sounds insensitive. Well, it's pretty productive. I'm not solving for sensitivity here. This is not like a kumbaya type of training. This is not like, let's all feel good. I'm telling you productivity hacks. And that's one of them. Makes sense? If there's a therapist here, they might be concerned about me. That's okay. Call me and we'll talk about it. Are we good so far? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Are you clapping for the therapist comment? Like, yeah, please get help. He knows he has problems. Good. I'm joking. Okay. Let's go through the next couple really quick. Take little breaks in the day. Okay? Not long breaks, little breaks. Between your meetings, 3 to 5 minutes, take a moment, go do some breathing, do some gratitude list. This is another way to de-stress. Take care of your health. Your stress will go up 10 times when you're lacking sleep. Your stress goes up 10 times when you have digestive issues. Take care of your health. Here's another one. Take time to plan the day and put things on paper. So many times we get stressed out because we're overwhelmed with all the things that are happening in our mind. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. Here's how you avoid it. By the way, who here thinks that I got a lot going on? Raise your hand. I got content creation. I got 500 people in my business. I'm growing. We got big goals to hit. I'm competing. I got a lot of things going on. If I don't put things on paper, I'll go crazy. So every night before bed, I sit down and do a to-do list. And then when I look at it, I go, that's not too bad. I can handle it. And then I go to sleep fine. I have a video called Night Routine on YouTube. Okay, this is not a promotion. This is an advice. Thank you so much, Alexi, for saying it's a fire reader. If you have problems sleeping, I'm assuming you're taking action on that and working on it. Probably not, right? I did this today. I was doing a training with some MDs and I showed them something. I'm like, this is my genius. And I'm like, when I show you this, you're gonna get intimidated because you're gonna be like, I don't know if I can do what Nima does. Okay, and I'm like, I'm warning you. I've been doing this since I was a kid. I'm God gifted. And you know what I did? I shared my screen. I went on YouTube, and I went how to sleep better. And I go, I don't want to intimidate you. Some of you are gonna think I'm too smart for this. Might cause problems with our duplication. But I'm like, one of the things that I learned as a young kid was if I don't know how to make spaghetti, I went on YouTube and said, how to make spaghetti. And then I watched a video. Sometimes I watch the video while making the spaghetti. Mind-blowing. Unbelievable. Many of you have many problems. I'm curious, have you tried this method? You're like, you have problems with anxiety. How to have less anxiety. Oh, look, there's a lot of great videos here. No, nice. Do you understand? I understand some of you might be intimidated. That was too much for some of you. This was my superpower as a young child. So if you're like, Nima, how did you overcome anxiety at such a young age? I went on YouTube and searched how to overcome anxiety. And I watched the videos and I did the things they told me. Shit, it worked. When I came in the business and I didn't know what to do and I didn't have mentors and everything, I went on YouTube and I went, how to recruit. Oh, this is some good advice on recruiting. Oh, how to do this. It's very sophisticated what I just did.
How can I be taller?
I tried that. I searched the how to be taller. I didn't get the results and I just went and cried after. There was some videos I was like, it's okay to be short and that helped. So I'm like, oh, yay. Thank you, Adam, for pointing that out. That's awesome. Adam bullies Nima. Yay, that's awesome. But do you guys understand? But here's the thing. You know who does that? Someone who wants a solution. Most people just want to keep dealing with the same problem because it's their comfort zone now. So if you truly want to change, there's more than enough information out there. You just got to go and find it. And then here's the key part. Take freaking action on it. Look, it's 8:27. We're going to be done in 3 minutes, okay? For some of you, that's good news. For some of you, it's bad news. I don't know. But here's the thing. You spent an hour and a half with me. Thank you for doing that. My question is, what are you going to walk out of here and apply? Here's my thing. Let me share something with you. Actually, pay attention to this. If I come to a session, any session, whether it's a long seminar, short seminar, whatever it is, book, I have to take something from it that I'm going to teach someone else or that I'm going to apply myself. If I don't, it's a waste of my freaking time. Does that make sense? So if you came here for an hour and a half and you didn't learn anything that you could teach to another person or take action on it yourself, you wasted your time. I'm sorry for that. I apologize if that happened to you. But I really hope that before you leave here, you take out your notepad, you take out whatever you take notes on, and write down, here's what I'm going to teach so-and-so. Oh, I have a team member that has an issue with this. I'm going to teach this team member how to do stuff on YouTube. Okay? ChatGPT is out to now. So you could go how to on ChatGPT. You might get some better results. But that might be it. Or you might go, I'm going to take action on this. Next time I feel like I don't want to do something, I'm going to use the pain and pleasure perception. Actually, let's do this before we finish off the session. Write down one thing you learned from today's session that you can teach someone else, and write down one thing that you're going to apply into your own life. I hope you do this because I want you to benefit from the time you spend here. Does that make sense? So write down one thing you can teach them. Maybe you go home and teach your son one of the things that we talked about, or teach your husband or wife or whoever you have, a friend of yours. What is one thing that you learned on the session so far today in the last hour and 27 minutes that you can teach to someone else? And what is one thing that you can apply into your own life? If there is nothing, I have to quit what I'm doing because this is not working. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. And then we're going to finish this session with one last thing. Okay. Are we ready to finish off? Yeah. Okay. If you didn't get a chance to write it down after. But one thing you can teach someone else, one thing you're going to take action on yourself. Here's what I want to finish off with. A lot of today's sessions about how to not quit leads back to mental toughness. Mental toughness is your ability to de-stress. Let me share something with you. What it means to be mentally strong, what it means to be mentally tough, it means to be going through a lot of stress in your body while being relaxed in the mind. I'm going to say that one more time because some of you might have missed it. Mental toughness, mental strength is your ability to have a lot of stress in your body while being relaxed in the mind. Have you ever seen those psychotic, like Chuck Norris, okay? Remember the memes with Chuck Norris? Some of your, Chuck Norris is the definition of stress in the body. What is stress in the body? It's urgency, it's fight or flight. That's stress in the body. While relaxed in the mind. He has like 80 people coming at him to attack him. He's like, and he kills them all, right? Bruce Lee. That's the definition of mental toughness. When you look at someone, you go, that person's really mentally strong. It's someone who can handle a lot of stress in their body, which is urgency, which is the fight or flight that makes you perform at your highest level while being relaxed in the mind. The greatest athletes in the world, Michael Jordan, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, whoever you can think of, the greatest, Kobe Bryant, right? Mamba mentality. The greatest athletes you can think of were people who were stressed in the body but relaxed in the mind. Meaning they were playing with full urgency, but they were zoned in, focused, and there was no negative thoughts. There was even no thoughts. That's the key trait of high performers. When I go and speak in Vegas in front of 50,000 people, I promise you I feel stress in my body. But my mind, rock solid, relaxed, because I trained it to do that. So everything I'm teaching you here is the ability to stay relaxed in the mind while you're stressed in the body, while you have the urgency, while you have that fight or flight, that actually makes you perform at your highest level. Okay? So I want to read something for you from the book by Vince Lombardi. Vince Lombardi is known as one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. And I want to read something from this book, and then we'll finish up with this because I love this, and I think it's so important. In this book, he's talking about, basically the book is called What It Takes to Be Number One. Guys, the last 4 years, 5 years that I've been in this hierarchy, I've been number one for every contest, yes or no? Okay. I'm telling you, it's not to do with my talents or it's all to do with the mental toughness. And I'm going to read you something by a serial winner in Vince Lombardi, and I want you to pay attention. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Mental toughness, head and heart, was one of Coach Lombardi's favorite topics. He believed that mental toughness was the single most important quality a leader needed to develop in himself and in the people around him. You want to duplicate something? Duplicate mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to hold on to your goals in the face of the pressure and stress of your current situation. I'm going to say that one more time because some of you maybe missed it. Mental toughness is the ability to hold on to your goals and in the face of pressure and stress of your current situation. It's the ability to hold on and to hold on to what you want in the face of what you've got. Mental toughness is the glue that holds a team together when the heat is on and helps them preserve just a little longer, which in many cases is just long enough to outlast the competition. Did you get that? So mental toughness is not you feeling good when things are good. Mental toughness is not you being like, oh, I'm so motivated when you get a close or when you get a recruit or when you get a promotion. Mental toughness is when shit hits the fan, you play like you're about to win anyways. Mental toughness is when it's darkest right before dawn, you truly believe the dawn is coming. Mental toughness is when you're last on the leaderboards, you go, there is no way I'm not going to win this, and you fight till the end like you're going to win. That's what mental toughness is. And if you play your game that way, victory is a guarantee. It's not even a question. Anyways, thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the session. Bye-bye.